There's no feeling greater in the world than booting up New Super Mario Bros. Wii as a kid and picking Luigi. Except, this isn't a perfect world. We have war, and terrorism, and inequality. But most of all, we have older siblings who take all the other playable characters, leaving me stuck with Blue Toad. You might not think it's that terrible, but all that tells me is you're an only child, because nobody wants the Blue Toad. And that includes Nintendo. Blue Toad has existed as long as time, and by that I mean 2009, with New Super Mario Bros. Wii. And ever since then, Nintendo has ingrained a sense of hatred and disgust in all relation to Blue Toad. But why? And for those 1%ers who don't hate Blue Toad, I'm sure you're asking, how? Blue Toad has been an integral part of Mario's team for decades, from his direct sabotage of Peach's rescue in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, to his criminal negligence, and at last, his harrowing drug addiction in Super Mario 3D World. But before we get to that, we have to go to the beginning. And before we get to that, I have a vital question to ask you. When's the last time you thought about your future? Well, how about you start thinking about it right now? Because our sponsor, Southern New Hampshire University, can help set you on the right track for the rest of your life. Today, I want to talk about their degree in game development, because with SNHU's low tuition, you can learn everything you need to become a pro in game design. Whether you're learning the 3 primary programming languages, C#, C++, and Java, or learning how to create the most fascinating game physics this world has seen, you'll have help from faculty with real-world experience in the industry. But it doesn't stop there, because what's a game without any enemies? Which is why you'll learn all the ins and outs of enemy and NPC intelligence design. With all of this available to you and much more, why wouldn't you help support this channel and your future by signing up for free information at snhu.edu/arctic. Even if game design isn't your passion, SNHU has dozens of other programs available. So again, sign up with the link in the description to help support our futures. As everyone knows, when New Super Mario Bros. Came to the Wii, Nintendo wanted it to be a 4-player game. So that's how we ended up with Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Toad as playable characters. But why 2 Toads? Believe me, 1 is more than enough. But rather than adding Wario or, I don't know, effing Daisy, we got Yellow and Blue Toad. So, what about that makes it so disgusting? Well, nothing in particular. Initially, Toad can be a force of good in this world, but from the starting moments of New Super Mario Bros. Wii, I can be certain that's not true. In this opening cutscene, our Toads are on the front lines of Bowser's attack, but they do absolutely nothing to counter his attack on Peach. And if you ask me, that face of shock on Blue Toad's face is nothing but a sham. He's clearly rehearsed this reaction hundreds of times, and I'm certain he was in on the attack all along. But even if we suppose that's not true, Blue Toad put the bare effort forward to save Peach. As the gang chases after Bowser, Blue Toad hardly manages to keep up with the pace, and actively slows everyone else down. Even at the end of this game, Blue Toad still sabotages Mario. But worst of all, he sabotages Luigi. In the end, it shows Mario kicking out Luigi from his air balloon. I'm sure you see this as a cruel thing for Mario to do, but I can assure you, nobody wants their younger siblings tagging along on their date. Mario is completely justified here. But you know who isn't? Blue Toad. You can clearly see that Luigi was distracted, causing him to miss Mario's balloon. But why was he distracted? Because Blue Toad was flipping off Yellow Toad and having some kind of staring contest with Luigi. This is sure to distract anyone, and while Mario could have waited for Luigi, it's clear that Mario wanted no business with Blue Toad's chicanery, and that continues well into Blue Toad's later appearances in this universe. That being New Super Mario Bros. U. Another case where it doesn't quite seem like Blue Toad is responsible for Peach's kidnapping, but I can assure you, he is. I'd like you to watch this clip here. Innocent looking, right? Of course not. This is Blue Toad we're talking about. See him stumble around as Bowser comes crashing in? Blue Toad is clearly intoxicated. There's an alternate world where Peach's castle was never taken by Bowser, if not for Blue Toad's rampant alcoholism. Even look here, He literally drank the bottle till he was upside down. After this, Blue Toad's life began spiraling into the deepest pits of hell. And in that hell, we have Super Mario 3D World. Toad's actions here weren't just a detriment to the team, but they completely ruined his life. Notice anything particularly odd here? Yeah, Blue Toad is substantially faster than Luigi. But how? Luigi's got the longer legs after all, especially compared to Blue's stumps. Nevertheless, Blue Toad is still faster. How could this be? Well, at this point, I'm sure you know. Blue Toad has been taking copious amounts of drugs. Speed, dope, mushrooms, could be any of them, but more than likely, all of them. Here, I do feel kind of bad, because as Blue Toad's substance abuse continued, Nintendo realized they couldn't keep him in the eye of the public anymore. He lost all his friends, with only Birdo left by his side. Of course, that's a fate I wouldn't wish on anyone. But Nintendo wouldn't stop there. They also barred Blue Toad from joining Mario in their retelling of New Super Mario Bros. U, to be instead replaced by the far more popular and brand-appropriate Toadette. This completely wrecked Blue Toad, so much that he even broke into the code of Mario U and hid himself as an alternate option to Yellow Toad. But we all know he was never supposed to be there in the first place. Blue Toad is a story of sabotage, addiction, and healing. And right now, we're in a period of healing. While he's still on poor terms with everyone but Birdo, it does seem as if he's cleaned up much of his act. Though he clearly still sips from the devil's grape juice once in a while, he's returned to his standard stubby walk, and Mario has invited him back to his rescue caravans. Blue Toad could be on the path back to being a functioning disappointment in society, but as Waluigi knows too well, addiction will always come back around to bite you, and Nintendo will never see him the same way again. But even with all this, I can't help but be sorry for Blue Toad. He's ruined the lives of those in the Mushroom Kingdom. He's caused civil unrest across the entire land. He's blue! But even with all that, he's just a product of his circumstances. Nintendo did him dirty. Where else do you think he got all that illegal substance? In the first place, Miyamoto hand-delivered it to him. And why? Because nobody wants to play as the filler character. He's the bottom of the barrel. And in some cases, so beneath the barrel, you can't even see him. But you know what? Nintendo did you dirty, Blue Toad. It's disgusting what they've done to your ugly, pathetic disappointment of a face. Buckenberry, you're gonna get to see the world today. Because, if we're being honest, nobody else was gonna take you.